Okay, like we always been doing. Think about this. Think about this. Before I go, let me leave you with this. You know how hard it is what I do? This is what I do. All of the past projects that we got into that did whatever it was, 250x, 100x, fucking 50x, 80x, 25x, 10x, 5x, whatever it is. Imagine how we did that time and time again when it wasn't in our control, meaning it wasn't my project, meaning it was in the control of others, and we were playing by their rules. We were in a game playing by their rules, okay? But guess what? Would you only imagine if TCL made his own rules and he had control of things and didn't have to worry about shit being changed on us last minute by onboarding VCs or changing token economics or expanding the supply, changing vesting periods? I wonder what that project would do. TCL made his own rules. I wonder what that project would do. TCL made his own rules. I wonder what that project would do.
Business License NFT. Get used to the name because that's the name of our project, ladies and gentlemen.
Here we are doing this live stream pretty much to tell you guys why my project and pretty much our project is the shit. Metapolitans is what it's called. Why is it called Metapolitans? Because we are actually in the center of the world's most sought after metaverse, which is Sandbox. We got iconic brands like, Snoop Dogg is there, Gucci is there, we got HSBC Bank.
This is where it really comes to life to really break this down. So now, as I just explained, executives are getting 20%, which means 20% of the 900K is now 180,000. The managers are getting their same 30%, which is 270,000 of this figure.
So what I really want to educate people is, what is the smart money doing and not the dumb money, right? And I don't try to insult people, but I do like to put facts over feelings and numbers over narratives, right? A lot of problem with the art is, it's like, again, I'll say this one time here on this stream and we'll move on to the presentation. But the problem with art is this: there's a lot of people buying this art who've never drawn a picture in their life and never owned a piece of art in their life before up until this point, and they're screaming NFT art from the top of their lungs. As a matter of fact, I think I'm more of an artist than most NFT artists out there. You know why? I've been making motherfucking thumbnails for 5 years straight, bro. Now that's art. Should I NFT that and call it so rare? Look at my thumbnail. My thumbnail's rare, guys. Let me NFT it. It's only one of a kind. It's worth like 1,200 Ethereum now. That's stupid. That's stupid, all right? Now, let me show you guys what is not stupid.
Woo-hoo! It's the crypto lifestyle, baby!
You heard that right, ladies and gentlemen. Let me show you what is not stupid. And what is not stupid is the Metapolitan project, which will be going live in Sandbox pretty soon. And we have a very special guest here who will be interviewing me from one of my favorite communities in the crypto space, straight up. One of the first movers in the pre-sale incubation niche. We're talking about the Duck DAOs. Now, if we got any ducks in the live chat, give me a quack quack. And Pep will be conducting this interview. So Pep, please, the floor is yours.
Oh, hello. Thank you so much for having me on. This is such a pleasure.
Hey, the pleasure
It's like
is
a
mine.
360 moment for me because I've been watching you for a while. So now I get to interview you.
Look at that. You see that? That's how the crypto universe works, eh? You just never know what to expect.
It's amazing. This is so awesome. Thank you so much for taking the time and allowing our members to, have a little bit of inside information on, how your project is and everything about it. So let's get started.
Let's do it.
So the project itself is called Metapolitan Business License NFT. All right, I had to practice that 10 times to make sure I didn't mess it up.
Don't worry, man. Yeah.
Okay, awesome. So before we get started, I really want to ask you, so you've become this, crypto YouTube celebrity. What were you doing before you got started?
Yeah, no, that's a good question. So a lot of people know me as TCL, the crypto lifestyle here on YouTube, but little do they know, I was not born like that. I wasn't born into YouTube or into crypto. I was born just like them, being told certain things that didn't really sit well with me, like, just the way the system is structured. And I started to challenge that structure. I started to ask questions. And, obviously when you're challenging certain things, that's the status quo. You do look like a loon, right? You look crazy and you stick out. Call me a rebel, call me this, call me that. I was just one of those guys that was growing up and just didn't really sit well with me. I would just ask my teachers certain things like, why am I doing this for? How does this work? What is integers and algebra is going to do for me in the real world. You know what I mean? And it just didn't have much interest with me. And this led to me going to college, and which was something where I was like, felt like pressured into doing, right, Pep? Because, you know, I saw all of my friends going to college, and I'm like, oh my God, dude, like, you're a bum. Like, you know, it was just peer pressure of getting yourself in debt is what it was. And, you know, I soon realized after about a year in college, when I dropped out, that it was all a scam, because everything turns into a business. And when it turns into a business, it's all about profiting and not about human advancement. You know, and that goes with everything in life. You know, everything in life, it's all about money. And that's how these guys make their money, you know. So I started to seek out all their alternatives, and I was always fascinated, Pep, with this notion of using technology to run a business, right? That could alleviate time. I was always about, like, how could I, you know, make money, a decent living, and do it anywhere I want in the world, which ultimately what I'm doing right now is, you know, doing what I want, how I want, where I want, and I'm talking about things that's benefiting the entire world as a whole. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I mean, like, that just led me down the road to these technologies like 3D printing and even, you know, VR headsets for business, right? I was always business savvy. And yeah, so that was about 2015. And then I came across actually Bitcoin in 2013, didn't take action up until 2017. And it worked a lot of jobs during that time, did have to do what I had to do. And, you know, people look down on me, and, you know, even my own family, my own friends are like, oh man, dude, like, what are you doing with yourself? Like, why don't you just stay in school? Why don't you stay in school? And if you look at all the most successful people in the world, they're also university dropouts, college dropouts, or they didn't even do that. So, you know, and that was also an inspiration. And lo and behold, you know, I came across Bitcoin in 2017 in terms of taking action and trying to educate everybody about it. And, you know, this metaverse notion right now here is reminding me of 2017 when I was trying to educate people about Bitcoin, and people just didn't give a shit. They're like, okay, whatever, I'll hear about it again and again. And then 4 years, 5 years later today, everybody wants to invest into Bitcoin when it was, you know, when I was telling them at 800, now they want to do it when it's at like whatever K it's at right now. So this is the same thing I'm seeing, Pep, with this metaverse notion here. It's actually bigger than Bitcoin. And I'll tell you guys why it's bigger than Bitcoin in terms of a business opportunity. Because you don't have to fight it. Everybody already accepts metaverse. Everybody and corporations want to get in. You know, one of the biggest challenges we always hear about, mass adoption, Bitcoin mass adoption. Well, I think we're getting adoption now, but metaverse has surpassed that hurdles of convincing the world. The world is like not even convincing, they're FOMOing in. And when you got corporations, we always say back in the day in 2017, we need institutional money to flow into crypto to make it boom, guys. Right? Well, institutional money, it's already here. As you can see, well, you can't see me behind me, but that's our estates there. But we got Binance, we got Gucci, we got Snoop Dogg, we got HSBC Bank, we got who else is there? Warner Music Group. The list goes on. Adidas in here, right? This is an exclusive club. It really is. And all you need is land. And I want to really educate people about this, because people think they know, but they don't know, right? When they hear NFTs too, they think they know. Their brain sense one thing, and this is the purpose of this interview. So yeah, I can't wait to get all of those to all of those things as well, Pep.
Oh, nice. Cool. Well, first of all, thanks for sharing like your background and everything, because I think it's always nice to know, you know, the person behind the project and just how they kind of got started.
Yeah.
And crypto is just such a strange community, because I feel like a lot of us are closer to each other, even though we've never met. And we talk more to each other than we do to our in real life friends.
It's true.
So,
it's so true.
right?
You bring up a good point there. You know, I feel as though crypto and you know, the ducks in the live chat right now, if you're watching the replay, or even my community and the Metapolitans, you guys can relate to this, you know, or maybe not, but to me, I can only speak for myself. Like, having a community and something that you have a shared belief in, it goes past the boundaries of being a nation. Like, I'm a national of Canada or America.
Right.
Like, that's no longer a thing anymore. Like, when I talk to these guys in Telegram or whatever, where I met you guys, right, which is, by the way, a version of the metaverse, but 2D, right? Who would have ever thought we would have made friends like this on the internet back in 1995? We could have never seen this happen, right? And the same is true for the metaverse in a much more intimate way, Pep. And this is why I'm so excited, not just for business, but the way we socialize. It's just going to shape everything. But like what you said, it's like, you know, we don't have these boundaries of like, oh, our blood is red. You know what I mean? No matter where you come from, we have the shared belief. There's something in common, and it's decentralized, currency, or in this case, decentralized ownership of a virtual land, right? So to your point, I totally agree with that, and that resonates with me too.
Yeah. One thing that I totally don't do anymore is like, I don't say good morning, because I feel like we're constantly working 24/7, right? So it's like, and our days really aren't mornings and nights, because it's global, right? So we're just constantly,
it's true.
And I don't mind So it is what it is, and we're all just kind of adjusted to it. So it's cool. I love it. I can't imagine my life without it now. So, and
Right?
this is cool because now this is a new aspect that we can, discover and learn about. So I'm really excited about learning more about this project. So let's talk more about it.
Sure.
So let's say, why did you really decide to create your own metaverse development project?
Yeah, exactly. Metaverse development project. I decided to do this because I'm someone who had a bunch of business ideas I wanted to launch on the blockchain, or I wanted to actually conduct. Right. I always want to be known as a businessman in this space. Not so much this. It's a KOL. I hate that term when people call you a KOL. I want to slap somebody.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like honestly, don't call me a KOL, dude. You know what I mean? Like these projects. But yeah, I always wanted to do that, but I didn't want to rush into it. You know much Pep, how much times I could have took advantage of people with this bull runs, like how many bull runs we saw, and launch a project like an NFT, whatever, and just call it NFT and add another word behind it and say, okay, this is my project during the hype. That would have been easy money. I could have got like $10 million and just be like, whatever, just like everybody else. But I actually revere and care about my name and reputation. I don't like to screw people over because I know how it is to struggle. I really do. So I don't like that shit. So I chose my, I chose my moment, which was now. I truly believe that Metaverse we have a 10-year bulletproof on this. This is a project that you cannot copy and paste the code. This is a true business, cash flowing business. And for those reasons, I think the timing was right. Yeah, people might say, well, look at the market. I don't give a shit about the market. I am going to do this because, this is something that doesn't rely on the market if it's up or down. And furthermore, it doesn't really rely on people buying the NFT collection. You know what I'm saying? Because when you have real estate, you have property in the virtual world, it's very similar to that in the physical world. It's limited, right? Sandbox has only 166,000 parcels that would ever be created, just like cryptocurrency, right? You could also monetize this in terms of like, brands who wants to be noticed on a new emerging platform like Sandbox. Clearly, you've seen all these institutions going in there. That's now they could actually have a wider outreach to a larger audience to promote their product or business. Just like in the real world, if you're a landowner, you could, you own the plaza. Well, you got a drugstore in there, you got a McDonald's in there, you got like, what a grocery store, whatever it is, right? You could rent that out to businesses. The same is true for this, right? And it's happening already. It's already happening. So I always wanted to do real estate. And by the way, Pep, I was going to do real estate in the Caribbean villas, build that and put it into the metaverse, but that was just stupid thinking. Now we got the boom with the virtual property. I just went this route. So to answer your question, I just think it's the perfect timing in terms of like, it cannot be copycat in terms of, but someone could try to do it, but copycats are lazy. They don't want to put in work. That's the thing. They just want to copy and paste the code, right? So you're right, for that reason, and also the reasons of this being a 10-year bulletproof sort of project, because the metaverse is now getting started and we're going to have first mover advantage, especially in this, estimated $12 trillion market in the next 5 years. We plan to extract about $1 billion, which is only 0.01% in a matter of 5 years or less. So it's just, it's a no-brainer for me.
Awesome. Cool. And is that why you chose Sandbox?
Absolutely.
Because,
Sandbox is the safest bet. It's the safest bet right now. They got a head start over everyone. They got the most iconic brands. They got the most hype. It's going to be a true metaverse, which is what? What is a metaverse? A true metaverse. It's a digital plane of existence where you share a 3D environment with others where you could buy, sell, or trade. Whether that's, cryptocurrency, NFTs, what have you, or even physical products too. Like McDonald's is doing that. They're going to deliver fast food in the metaverse. You could order it and they could deliver it to your home now. But Sandbox, yeah, exactly. They're primed, they're set up. They got the brands there. It's expensive to get in. If you look at those same brands like Warner Music Group, where are their headquarters? Yeah. It's actually in New York downtown, right? Gucci, I believe they also have one in New York and California, right? So now where's their headquarters in the internet, right? The virtual headquarters, it's Sandbox. So this is equivalent to the Beverly Hills of California, but for metaverses, right? And the average guy cannot get into this, and that's the real reason why I did this too. The average guy can't do this, and we were trying to democratize the Caribbean villas for the average guy, but I had it all wrong, and we just used a clean sheet of paper and said, hey man, this is not how we're doing it. We're going to do this in the metaverse for the reasons we could get into later on in this stream.
Yeah, so I mean, it sounds like you saw, a need, and honestly, I feel like necessity is the mother of all invention. So, there's a money-making opportunity. It's predominantly for the rich because obviously it's already getting, priced out of the normal every Joe
Absolutely.
type of guy. So this is a really good opportunity where you're involving your community, our community, real people who want to have that opportunity to make that money without the fear of being rugged, without the fear, like you said, there can be copycats, but they're not going to put in the effort.
Mhm.
And here we do have an opportunity with someone who is hardworking because we've seen you all along, and we see, your work ethic, and I honestly, I don't get the mentality of scammers because I'm like, all you have to do is actually do the real thing, and people will willingly give you money. So,
Exactly.
I think this is a really great opportunity. That's just my opinion. I sometimes get
Appreciate that.
really excited. So,
Appreciate
but
that.
let's continue on with some of the other questions that we had. Um, so, what makes this project different than other NFT projects?
Yeah. Let me answer that, but I want to play a clip here for the Ducks. If we got the Ducks
Okay.
watching or anybody watching right now, let me play this clip here, okay? This was in about 1993. This took place, and this is very important. So check this out.
But I think about this, and what about this internet thing? Do you know anything about that?
Sure.
What the hell is that exactly? A baseball game. You could listen to a baseball game on your computer. And I just thought to myself, does radio ring a bell?
Oh, that's
That little
right.
mark with the A and then the ring around it.
At.
See, that's what I said. And then it sounded stupid when I said it. Violence at NBC.
I'm afraid that if I subscribed to something like internet,
You would really be hooked.
I would get hooked and I would never, spend time with my family.
Just what is this main artery of the information superhighway?
Every business, no matter how large, and no matter how small, will be on the internet in the year 2000. It's the primary way that people will look up information. It will replace the yellow pages as we know it today.
Okay, now you see that guy right there, that geek with the glasses on that was preaching that to everybody in 1994? I bet you right now, 27 years later, Pep, he's on a private island, butt naked, with a bunch of girls feeding him grapes still. I guarantee you, okay? Because he had foresight, right? He had foresight. He's trying to tell everybody about this, just like I'm trying to tell everybody about the metaverse. Every business, and Gucci and these guys already know what's up. Binance already knows what's up. They're there too. FTX knows what's up. Gemini knows what's up. All these brands knows what's up. And when it comes time, when this is live, other brands are going to be like, oh my God, okay, yeah, we messed up. Just like a lot of brands messed up in 1994 for these websites, okay? Now, since that, that thorough clearance out the way, and we kind of understand, what we're, getting ourselves into here with the metaverse, what makes my NFT project different, right? So I think people need to rewire their brains, and they think they know what the NFT is, and they don't. Automatically you think of Bored Ape, or you think of some CryptoPunks, or you think of some new art coming out, right? Let's be honest here. I think 95% of people are thinking that, and it's not their fault. That's what's been driven in their head subliminally from influencers, from CNN and broadcasting networks, right? NFT this, NFT that art, Now, NFT is a unique identifier or ownership. It proves that somebody owns something. That could be this keyboard I'm looking at, this microphone, this. You can NFT anything in the format of a receipt. It's a receipt. That's all an NFT truly is. It has turned into this whole art thing now because of, this is the truth. This is why I tell people, during Corona, it was the perfect timing. And a lot of Americans were home. A lot of people were home, period, looking ways to find money. They missed out on Bitcoin. This whole NFT thing came about. Gary Vee started to shit. All the Americans started to jump on it. If you look at the NFT projects coming out, it's mainly Americans, right? They realize that they can't legally invest into these pre-sales. They can't really legally make their own project up until this NFT thing came. I mean, they could make their own crypto, but the average guy isn't. The average guy now, without any paperwork, can make an NFT project. So they ran with that shit, and we're seeing that bubble pop right now. If you look at the population of America and other countries that's behind this, America is highly dense, right? There's a lot of people living there. And if you could convince a lot of people to buy anything, it'll go up in value. It doesn't matter if it's sand from the beach. It doesn't matter if it's sugar, if it's like the peso or the rupee. It's going to go up in value if you could convince a large sum of people to buy it. And that's what we saw, And thank God, Bored Ape Yacht Club, sort of set the bar high for that. And they made their actual NFTs into avatars. Now I have respect for that. And that metaverse will also do great. But why mine is different is because we're not art. We're not all these other dumb things, right? Again, NFT could be a domain. It could be insurance. It could be land. It could also be art. Now, if you look at any sort of asset class, Pep, and the ducks that are watching, there are groups of commodities in asset class. We got oil, we got gas, we got, pork belly, we got, corn, whatever, right? All these things. And if you look at gold, which is, precious metals, which is a much better example, we got gold, silver, and bronze. NFT art is like bronze, but bronze is not worth the same as gold. Gold is not worth the same as silver. But to me, the NFT land, from an investor standpoint, from a businessman standpoint, presents so much more opportunities, because now, with NFT art, you can't tell a guy or a business, like, say, a corporation who's looking, they're pushing, a couple billion a year, and they want to, like, try to, take advantage of this new substantial platform shift to reach out to new clients, kind of like what we saw with TikTok. Anybody that got onto TikTok first blew up. Like BitBoy, he used them, he blew up. People like, yo, where the hell did this guy come from? It was because of TikTok really helped him, and others who took advantage of that early. These brands know this as well. So back to my point, this is something where you could have appreciation and an income coming along the same time, right? Just like you would if you were to buy a home and rent it, right? And that's the notion. It's a cash flowing business. It's an income producing asset. You cannot monetize your CryptoPunk or your Bored Ape. Well, now you can with Bored Ape when the metaverse comes out, but you cannot monetize 99.9% of crypto art out there, if not 100%. Actually, 100% of the crypto art. You cannot monetize it. I cannot tell a lawyer who's a crypto lawyer, hey, bro, why don't you come on my art and we'll build your office so people could see it. You can't do that. In the metaverse, we could do that in Sandbox, and I could show you guys how that would look. And then, these crypto accountants, right? That's relevant. There's people in Sandbox, literally with their wallets in their hand, their MetaMask wallet in their browser, that will buy into that, right? We all got to do taxes. I do it. If you don't do it, well, that's your choice. But I don't promote that, right? I do my taxes. I need my crypto lawyer. Citizenship by investment programs. That has a lot to do with crypto. They want to advertise other than using Google Ads, other than having a website. That's very mainstream. You're not really going to grow market share by doing the same thing everyone's doing. And this is what's really attracted to them and to myself. So to answer your question in one sentence, Pep, it's different because you could have appreciation, you could have an income coming at the same time, just like you would if you were to buy property in the real world. But the difference with this is it's much less frictionless to actually own digital property. And, there's not many people doing this right now. There's Republic Realms, tokens.com, and Metaverse Landlord and Metapolitans that's doing this. And there's others doing it, but what they're doing is they're poor and they got no rep, and they're using your money to buy the land. I'm going to do this with or without anybody coming in, and that's what I was going to do. And then I saw the reaction from my community. They wanted some to get in, so we figured out a plan for them to come in, which is this.
Yeah, and I think that's a really good point that you stated about like real estate and land and location. And I think sometimes we're so limited because of the location that we live at. Like you could be in like Timbuktu, Iowa or something, where obviously the price of land is not, that high. And I hope Iowans don't attack me, but most likely it's probably not going to appreciate too much. So, how can you, with the least amount of effort, be able to invest in property without, in an area that would actually potentially grow? Other than downtown Iowa. So, I think it's a different perspective. It's giving you more global outreach without having to do too much work. It really is a great a property investment opportunity. So,
exactly.
I honestly didn't think of that until now. So,
and just to touch up, to piggyback off what you were saying there, Pep, it's like, I think appreciation could only take you so far. Right? Meaning that I'll hold on to a coin, hope for that it goes up, and then we got volatility. And I know the Ducks implemented a new, a new mechanism in there with the nodes, which is awesome. So people could get income, right? So this is the thing. So we need to look at, if you have a business, it don't really matter, about a token only going up, because if you're getting income all the time, say the times are getting bad and appreciation is going up and down and volatile, you always have that income. And this is what wealthy people do, right? I remember, Pep, I used to say, man, I just want to make my first 100K, my first meal, and I'm set. Then you got another problem. It's like, how do I protect that? How do I sustain that growth? Right? It's not about just making $1 million or even 10 million or 100 million. People have done that and went broke again because they didn't know how to sustain that growth. And honestly, man, this isn't financial advice. This is what I'm doing with or without anybody. But this is where it's at right here. This is where it's at right here. And big institutions are going to be doing this, right? Republic Realms, tokens.com already got their place in Decentraland being rented out. Okay, I didn't go there because I feel as though Decentraland might be, fall off the map in about 2-3 years. Sandbox, that's not the case. I might be wrong about Decentraland, but I'm not going to take that risk.
Yeah. So I had a question. Those the names that you had dropped earlier, like Gucci and everybody, did they pay for their locations, or were they kind of like celebrities that got in free, or so how did that work?
So yes, there's publications out there. I could probably Google it right now if the viewers are watching. Just Google it yourself. Gucci Land Sandbox, they paid. HSBC, they paid. But guess what? But Snoop Dogg didn't pay though. He got that shit for free.
Yeah.
Snoop Dogg got his way. He has
see
the way with everybody, man. You know what I mean? He could just get his way. But he got that one for free. But the Warner Music Group, they paid. So that speaks volumes.
So if they're paying, and they're kind of smart, obviously, if they're making that much money and they're on top of their game. So if they're paying, that kind of makes me feel a little bit better that you're kind of rubbing shoulders with the right crowd, your hood.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. And the beautiful thing about this too, Pep, it's like, when it comes to driving traffic, we're always talking about driving traffic. Well, how many subscribers do you have? Oh, well, how many people visit your website? The beautiful thing about Metaverse Land is the traffic is already there. And I can show you guys that in a slide. It's already there. All you need is the land, right? Sandbox has the traffic. Imagine the amount of clientele base Gucci has. The amount of clientele base Warner Music Group has, Adidas, other communities in crypto too, plus us. It's going to be this network effect that's just going to take place. Never mind what you're doing. You're going to be networking with these other cats that own land too. And you feel it's prestigious. And I'm telling you right now, that land will run out. It would run out. People, I get it. Some people have different situations. They need to sell. Maybe they got to pay the bills. Whatever. It is what it is. But the majority of people who are seeing this now, they plan to develop, build services and workforce in this metaverse. And that's exactly what we're going to be doing too. That's how you're going to steal a market share, right? Imagine this, right, Pep? Another example. A lot of people, which I just fell myself a victim to, but it's not that bad. I went to the secondary market to look for metaverselandlord.com. That's a domain name. That individual has no intent to actually create content on there, right? He just wants to flip the domain names. Very similar to what these guys are doing here. They just want to flip the land. But if you build on top of it, you could sustain something much more long-term in terms of building real wealth, right? And if you want to have a business, well, you want to actually put content and build that website or domain to sustain real wealth, right? Obviously the website's not producing you income, but it could get leads to convert on your product and your sales. It's very similar here. So we're building a cash flowing business, a real business. I have my investment corporation registered here in Toronto, Canada, right? And this isn't some guy dropping an empty project that nobody knows of asking you for money all of a sudden, right? Look at me. I'm coming after the damn hype. I don't give a shit about hype. Hype is going to make you just go up and come back down and be like, oh man, where's the next one? Who's the next one? We don't want to look for the next one all the time. Sure, there's always going to be some nice opportunities. Yes, but there's a lot of shit out there. This is not one of them.
Yeah. Cool. All right. So our next question, what's the NFT structure, the supply breakdown, and how would the holders be rewarded?
Sure.
Can you kind of get into that?
Absolutely. So we have 4,400 NFTs, right? It's based off of a reward system. There is the first tier called the executives, right? And then there's the managers, and then there's the officers, so the operating officers. And the business license NFT, we're going to be building these these services like the entertainment section, where we're going to have DJs, we're going to have up and coming rappers, and I'll break that down after. We could rent out the virtual office space, like I mentioned, to accountants in crypto, to lawyers in crypto, to citizenship by investment, which I have some already. I'm also building my TCL headquarters estate next to that one, so that's why I'm saying I have them already. Things like that. So, we got NFT galleries we could build. So we build all these things that's going to be generating revenue, right? Because we got space, primetime location in the heart of downtown in Sandbox. But right on top of Atari, as you can see right here, right? This is Atari, the red thing. And then let's cut off. At the top is the black Sandbox. The black ones are going to be one of the coolest worlds, right? So I've done my research. So how that works now is the reward system is going to be distributed amongst the executives who are going to get most of the share, but less of the percent. The dollar value is going to be more because there's less people in there. So we gave them 20%. So the actual structure could be proportional and fair to everyone else in the community. And then the managers are going to get 30%. And then thereafter, the operating officers will get 50% because there's more people in there. But when it's all said and done, the executives will get more dollar value. Okay. So 4,400 NFTs, that's the structure. And it's 0.3 ETH to get in right across the board. You know, we were going to do it the traditional pre-sale styles like we're normally used to, where you could pay more for the better one and this and that. But the market wanted the market likes their dopamine rush. They want to go to the mint station and mint. You know, so we said, okay, cool, let's just keep it at that, and it's fair as well, right? So nobody can say, oh, you hand choose people. No, we're not doing that. Also, what I have to mention is there is 150 NFTs that will be reserved for partners and teams, right? 50 from the executive, 100 from the managers, and you know, for our partners and, you know, for the team as well. And I think that's great because now the team has to be incentivized to actually perform well and make sure the Metapolitan project performs and does well because it's in their best interest, right? Because they're holding the NFT as well. So that's how that works. There's other things.
Can they sell their NFT? Like if they decide?
Yeah, I mean, like I can't tell anybody yes or no, but they don't plan to sell. But hey, I can't tell anybody to do anything. I'll be lying to you. But they could sell if they want, but we don't want that floor price to go down. I know I don't. I'm sure as hell they don't want either. But at the end of the day, it's theirs to do what they want. You know, and same goes with everybody else.
I think it's important for them to be able to know their options. Yeah. So yeah, obviously, you know, if
they sell, they ain't getting no money. They ain't getting no revenue. You know, and also I want to mention we're also giving a 2 NFTs, right? Which is a NFT avatar for Sandbox, customizable one, which is a project in itself, and that blows most of NFT projects out of the water because it's just, you know, you're just looking at this pixelated thing on your phone, and that's it. And like, oh, that's cool. Let me go frame it and make it look cooler behind my videos, right? But what we're doing is with the NFT avatar, you could actually use this in Sandbox. Like left, it goes left, right, up, down, jump, whatever. This is you. This is your online identity, and that's what we're going and moving towards, Pep. Right? You know, like look at our profile pics, right? Board Ape Yacht Club on Twitter and what have you. You know, it all started off with MySpace, where we used to express ourselves in the format of a picture, right? And that was really cool at the time. Then Facebook came and gave us more like the wall and videos. YouTube came, live streaming, right? We're going into this 3D representation now, right? Not 2D anymore. And people value that. Kids today in Fortnite are doing this already, you know, and they're not doing it because it's a game. They're doing it because it's fun. They want to go meet people. Like they got friends there they want to go and hang out with that they never met in real life. Just like how, you know, we're like, put it like this. In the metaverse, it's going to be so much better than dropping gifts in Telegram all day long. Okay? You know what I mean? Like everybody gets a kick out of that. Well, you're going to get a kick out of that, but in a 3D way that's so much cooler, right? So that's to give you perspective. And kids today, younger generation, are already all over this. And guess what? What's going to happen when they grow up?
I have kids. I know.
Right? And when they grow up, they're going to be full-fledged into the metaverse. But us older guys are like, all right, I don't get it still. You know, so I'm trying to do my part.
You know, I actually run everything by my son. I'm like,
that's smart.
He's like huge into, he's into Fortnite and everything. So whenever I invest in a game, I'm like, you can play this, but we can friends play this.
Yeah. Well, you could speak firsthand on that, right? So you know that too.
Yeah. That's
maybe I should
honestly. I think you make a.
Yeah. No, go ahead. I was going to just show the Sandbox map.
Yeah. No, go ahead. Let's go ahead and see.
Let's just show that, get that out the way. I don't know. Maybe we could look at the live chat too if you want, and just see if anybody wanted to say anything. It's all good.
Yep.
So, let me see here. So, guys, what you're looking at here, this is the overview of Sandbox's map. Okay. My ducks out there. Oh, by the way, how rude of me. I didn't even welcome the ducks. Quack, quack. All right. My bad. I forgot that. So you're looking at Sandbox's overview of the map over here. Give me a quack in the live chat, right? And right here, we're looking at Warner Music Group, right? This is the largest record label in the world. Top 3 at least. Look at this. Warner Music has secured the equivalent of beachfront property in the metaverse. Here we'll develop persistent, immersive social music experiences that defy real-world limitations, right? So they're essentially going to be running full-fledged concerts, right? And when you zone in here, we're right here. Right? And by the way, this is Snoop Dogg right here, the real Snoop Dogg. Right, he did his, he's going to do a bunch of concerts there as well. He did a really cool music video. And this is what we call the heart. The black Sandbox is the much better ones in terms of, like, experiences. It'll attract much more people than the blue ones, is what we're told. And right here is the big Atari. We're right here. This is a 3x3. This is my headquarters. Right here, this looks small. This is equivalent to 11 soccer fields in the real world. So imagine how much businesses we could actually build there, right? And I just want to give you guys more perspective. This is my phase 2 development for the ducks who are watching. This is my 6x6. This is my 3x3. Right here, ladies and gentlemen, is the world's most expensive metaverse purchase ever by Republic Realms for $4.3 million. and I'm sitting right next to them. Okay, what we're going to be doing is, and you can imagine how much my shit's worth if I'm literally their neighbor, touching them right here and here. Now, what we're going to do here in the second phase is we're actually going to be renting this out, leasing this out to these individuals. And what do I mean by that? You know, the Metapolitans who are going to be holding our NFTs, it's like it's theirs, you know. And I forgot to mention that part though. But we're not leasing it to them. As long as you hold on NFT, it's yours, right? You could do what you want there. These guys don't have that luxury. We're leasing it to them, and we're going to lease to them. And phase 2, if you hold our NFT, you'll get 15% off of that. Now, let me touch up on that. Now, after 2 years, Pep, you know, we have this cash flowing business. We got all kinds of deals. It's streamlined. I'm giving the investors the opportunity to sell it all if they want. I don't know what landlord would ever do that in the real world, but I'm doing it. Yeah. You know, and I'm a type of guy, I don't like to sell real assets. I just like to borrow against it or rent it out or produce income. And I hope the Metapolitans think the same way. But again, if they don't, they could sell it if they want to. That's what I would say. So that's another cool benefit there. Let me just head back on over here and show you guys one more last clip. Now, what is this? Where's my mouse? Sorry. Right. So what does all of this really mean? Oh my God, TCL, what the hell are you showing me, bro? And look at this, guys. This is the real Walking Dead. This is the real Walking Dead. They're building a cool experience, right? That TV show. And it just goes on. But let me carry on from here. So what does this really mean, right? All of these pixels and blocks, right? So this is a 24 by 24 you're looking at right here, which is the largest one. This is a 6 by 6. And this is a 1 by 1. But I'm actually building right now my headquarters, and I'll give you guys more perspective if my screen allows me to. Okay, my touch screen isn't working, but so right here, you're looking at the bird's eye view of my 3 by 3 that I showed you guys. That's next to the Metapolitan estate. And right here is the elevation view, right? So I got a bunch of different services here for those who are watching this for the first time. So at the top right here, this is a convention center. You're seeing the roof of it. And again, this is just a schematic. This is not how it's going to look. This is literally a rough draft of, you know, just to give us more visuals. This is the building here in the elevation view, and this is the other one. This is my fashion show. The convention center is very simple. Just like TED Talks, we're going to have projects pitched to us and charge them. Kind of like how, like, instead of me doing a live EMA or something like that, I want to say, hey, man, get your ass in the metaverse. We're going to charge you, and you can pitch to the people, and they could be the judge, right? So we're monetizing that. The fashion show is extremely big in the metaverse with wearables, right? Wearables, Epic Games makes 90% of their revenue from wearables alone, okay? And that's a big business, and that could also be taking place in Sandbox's marketplace, which I could show you guys thereafter. When you see here, we come to the marketplace button. Okay, now this is the cool area here, the Metropolis area, which is pretty much going to be rented out these offices, right? Corporate offices, 10 units. I'm going to have my accountants in here. I'm going to have a crypto lawyers in here. I'm going to have citizenship by investment programs like Nomad Capitalists and people in that field. For those who knows who Nomad is, not that I'm going to use them per se, but you know, companies like them. And this is just my little chill mansion, just you know, whatever, hang out. This is just a recreation area. It doesn't make sense right now, but it would make sense when it's live. Let's say we hit 100x, guys. Meet me at the beach in the metaverse, and we're going to come right here. Now this is where the real money is going to take place, in my skyscraper. At the bottom floor, I'm having a massive entertainment concert section, and I'll show you guys how that would look. And then it comes back right around. So we're talking about 6 different revenue streams. And what does that really look like? So this is what my builders, who are the certified metaverse, Sandbox metaverse builders, are creating. They won an award directly from Sandbox in the summertime. So this is the entertainment section, and again, this is a drawing. It's a schematic just to show you guys more perspective, right? How it would look. So we're looking at my office at the top. And at the bottom of the office, I have a meeting area with a glass floor that would show the club at the bottom, right? And we got the meeting room there, the dance floor, the DJ booth. We can come down a little bit more, and I'll show you guys one last thing, right? So again, this is more perspective. Obviously, it's not going to look exactly like this, but Sandbox does have voxel graphics, and this looks more like, I don't know, not Unreal Engine, but you know what I mean? You know, it's going to have glass windows and stuff like this. Now, lastly, take a look at this. This is literally how it would look. This is Snoop Dogg's one, by the way. Maybe I could add the volume to this somehow. I don't know if it'll work, but let's see. Check this out. Okay, look at that, right? This is what we're going to replicate, okay? This is Snoop Dogg's like entertainment section, stadium or whatever, and he's going to be doing real concerts here, just like us, right?
Okay.
And that's what and it doesn't make sense, but guess what? I'll tell you why that makes sense after I come back on the screen here. Now, why that makes sense is because when you look at these artists, and I'll get to my point on how the revenue and the reward system works, right? When you look at these up-and-coming artists, right, that has maybe 300K subs, you know, there was a big artist, Mac Miller, who passed away right now, who was, you know, I think he was dating Ariana Grande. He actually was a big YouTuber first, showing his art, and then he got noticed. There's a lot of them out there, but the likes of Warner Music Group, Pep, and for the Ducks out there, that's in Sandbox, they're not looking for these up-and-comers. They're looking for the Ariana Grandes and the Travis Scotts and the Justin Biebers who already did Metaverse concerts in Fortnite, right? So these up-and-comers are hungry, and like, I know how it is. I think I provide mad value, but we see some other shithead YouTubers getting all the love. So I know how it is, right? You know, out there, when you know you're more valuable, you got more talent, but you just need a platform, right, to showcase it, right? So then we come in and we say, hey, bro, I like your talent, bro. Don't worry about them mainstream cats. I see value in you. This is what we're going to do. So I'm going to show him my entertainment section in the same metaverse as Snoop Dogg, which he could only dream of. He got his fans watching his uploaded videos, Pep, and the Duck Side are watching, which is cool. Right. But if he was to do a concert in France or wherever, any part of the world, Malaysia, whatever it is, New York, his global fans probably can't afford to, you know, get a plane flight, buy his ticket, get hotel accommodation, and then food and all these things, and then fly back. And it's inconvenient. However, what we could do is, you know, since they're already home, we could put them into the metaverse, and this is how it would work. So he has 500K subs. Let's say we are able to take 100K subs from him in terms of convincing them to come into the metaverse, which, again, it's going to be easy to convince them to go into the metaverse and to buy Bitcoin when Bitcoin was in 2017, because it's not fought against, right? So we get that. We charge them $40 a ticket. So $40 times 100,000 people is now $4 million. The artist will keep 60% of that, and this is where the reward system comes in, so please pay attention. Now, the artist will take home 60% of that. 40% is now ours after, you know, in the format of NFTs, right? The tickets are NFTs that they're buying. Now, 40% goes to the Metapolitans, the executives, which is 20%, the managers gets 30%, and the actual officers will get 50% because that's a larger pool of people. What that works out to is 1.6 million divided amongst those three tiers is actually given back at this price right now, giving back the executives their money on that one show. On that one show overnight. So when people talk about APY, it's like you're getting your APY overnight. It's sales, bro. Sales is way better than APY. What's your markup on your sale? If you could make a sale where you spend X amount of money on a t-shirt from China, say you spend $5, to manufacture a t-shirt in China, you're selling for $10. Well, that's 100% APY in a sale right there and then. So we're not talking about APY here, guys, right? It's far more volume, velocity, where you can make money like that. Now, for the managers, it will take them 3.5 shows or 3.5 shows to make back their money, and for the for the officers, it will take about 6 or 6.5 shows, right? But again, that's from that one show, that one niche where we have virtual offices as well. NFT galleries as well. We have, you know, fashion as well, which is massive, right? The wearables, so on and so forth. So I hope that paints a little bit clearer picture on how this would work, right? After seeing these things.
Yeah. So who would really be going after and getting the talent, signing up the talent, finding, you know, like, would the NFT holders, would they be responsible in trying to get this, or who gets the job done?
Right. So I would say, you know, if we look at the real world once again, right? If you own land, a commercial piece of land like a plaza or office building, you know, the owner of that land, he just, you know, says, okay, well, here it is. You guys move in and run your business, right? However, what I will be doing is I will be kickstarting this thing, focusing on this vigorously, aggressively, now moving forward as well. Obviously, our main focus is the education part of it, letting people know what's happening here. This is not your damn regular NFT bullshit art or metaverse project. This is something different, building a workforce and a cash flowing business. Once people understand that and we get them on board, then my main focus right now, which I've already had a meeting with a rapper on Monday, and we're gonna have much more to come. You know, I will be spearheading this at the beginning. However, I want the business owners to know this. They need to take ownership as well and learn how to do it. And we'll be incentivizing them as well. Meaning that how if they were to bring any sort of like business or any sort of like, you know, rental or artist into our metaverse estate, they will be rewarded 1% of the treasury, which will be a minimum of $100,000, depending on, you know, how the sale goes. So that's how that would work. if that makes sense. There's also voting as well, where the managers and the executives will be the ones who could actually vote in terms of, hey, we have a new concept, right? This company wants to come in here. Should we accept them, right? The officers will submit that, or anything that may, you know, they may think is needed, and the executives and the managers will oversee it and then pass that over. Now, if that is passed over, like say a new and up-and-coming artist that they saw, that individual who brought it to the community's attention will be rewarded from the treasury as well, individually, you know, for putting in the work.
So, and I'm not sure how important this is to answer or even to know right now, but are you concentrating like on a specific geographical location? Like, are you only looking at North American artists, or are you also like, say there's a really great rapper from Egypt and the Egyptian community, you know, loves him, knows him, whatever. And if he can bring in revenue and somebody can bring him to you, is that something you would be willing to entertain?
Like you said, nations are no boundaries here. We're open to any and anyone. You know what I mean? It's a community thing. It doesn't matter where you're from. The main thing is this, right? It's their fan base that we're selling this to, not our community, right? So for this to really work, they must have some sort of following, right? Because strangers aren't going to buy into them per se, but their own subscribers, followers, or, you know, fans would, right? Ideally, that's how that would work, right?
Okay.
But yeah, no, we're
so
open,
that actually
course.
opens it up even more so, right?
Yeah.
Like the world is your oyster, and you're not concentrating or limited to a certain field or area. You know, I think that's kind of cool.
Yeah, no,
And
we're definitely
because
open
you're
to any and
global
any
too.
artist.
Yeah, awesome, cool. All right, I just want to make sure we get all of our questions done.
Sure.
So we did go over this one. What are the different ways that Metapolitan can generate revenue? Like you stated, you know, fashion shows, music shows, different. If there's anything else that you want to add, feel free. Okay,
Yeah.
this one though. This one's an important one.
One
So
thing I would
you're
say
gonna-
about that, though, I'm sorry. One thing I forgot to mention is, you know, like, you know, I was able to get a lot of deals in the past because I just know how to negotiate. I know how to, you know, bring value for both parties involved. So I think for myself and my team as well, we're going to be kickstarting this, and that's just my strength. That's just what I've been known to do, even when I was a kid growing up. So it just makes all the sense for me to take this by the horns and really tackle it, because you know, I don't really want to trust anybody with this, because that's the most important part at the beginning. Maybe when we start to scale, I'll hire some professionals and train them. But I am the professional in this. I'm the outreach guy. I'm the one, and two other of my team members that I trust too. They will be assisting me in this endeavor at the very beginning. So I have a proven track record with that, and I don't intend for that to stop either. You know, especially when I'm so excited about it. You know, 99.9% of the time when I have my mind focused on something, it gets done. So something like this it's a no-brainer, and it would execute for sure.
And, you know, a lot of people invest in ideas, but a lot of people invest in people.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, here, I think you have a great idea, but we also know, like I said, your work ethic. So, you know, there's hustlers, there's go-getters, there's people that get stuff done. And I can tell just, you know, from your previous history that I've seen on YouTube, as well as, you know, just your demeanor and how you carry yourself off, that you do seem to be a person that gets shit done. Sorry for the language. But, you know, but, you know, I do think that there is opportunity as you grow. Maybe if there are people within, you know, the NFT holders that bring a lot of concerts to you, or, you know, connections to you, maybe there's opportunity for them to grow within your team.
That's how
So,
it
you
is.
know,
It could evolve into all kinds of things here. You know, and the thing about this, about, you know, the main thing is we have the land already. People are like, yo, where's the website? Bro, forget that bullshit. The website's being developed. I get it. Yeah, you want to go back and look at something, fine. The website right now is the YouTube channel, right? Although Metaverse Landlord is being developed right now. That should be done maybe in about a week and a half or so. But it's the land that we got is the most important thing, right? The person that people know is the most important thing. If you don't know me, go to YouTube. If you don't got the land, then, you know, what is good of the website? The website freaking doesn't mean nothing. You need the land. You need to build on the land. We got the land. We got the great builders, and we know the game plan. That's the most important thing here, right? And with Sandbox, it's not like, say, a new project where, like, you're like, oh shit, bro, you're starting from scratch. Dude, we are in Sandbox. Just look at that map. Yeah. You know what I mean? This is not just, oh, just us here. Come to our website. This is not that, man. You know what I mean? It's a different animal. So we're set for the best chance for success here. We really are.
Yeah, and pardon the cliche, but you're giving everybody an opportunity to play in the sandbox.
Yeah.
So, see what I just did there?
Exactly. Well, that's what it is. And who knows, maybe they could start to network with these other brands and communities that's there, and something else becomes out of that, right? So it takes a life of its own. So
Awesome. Okay. So I was going to state this one before, and I think it is important. So you would be the landowner, but what if something happened to you? What happens to all the NFT holders? And aside, so there's that scenario, but what if you also decided to sell the land? What happens? Like how does...
yeah, that's a fair question, and I would say it like this, right? People need to understand that I am not. I already own the land. As a matter of fact, we started the terraforming on that estate, and then we stopped. So I already own the land. I'm not using their money to buy the land. So that's not their concern in terms of they are getting what they're getting is the business license NFT. They're getting the reward system. They're getting the avatar NFT. So when you look at all the, and I have to go back to this because we need to look at the market. The market sets the standard, right? What is the market standard here, right? What happens if Bored Ape or one of them guys, passes away? Nobody gives a shit because you got what you paid for, which is the NFT. The same is true here, right? You have that in your possession. And for selling, I have a very large portfolio across the metaverse. And I don't sell assets. You don't sell assets. You never sell. That's when you have to go look for another one. So I have no intent to sell this. I got a shit ton of different lands, and this makes up just a very small part of my portfolio. So for me, it's like I'm all in on this, and people need to understand I'm not using their money to buy the land. I already got the land, so you're getting what you paid for, which is your NFTs and the profits that comes with that. And after 2 years, they could sell it. And like somebody was saying, hey, what happens if you do pass away? Well, then for sure I won't freaking sell the land if I'm dead. So like it's stuck in my wallet. It don't matter, right? As long as it's attached to my wallet and it's there. And by the way, we can't even put that NFT into like a vault because you need it on the land attached to that wallet so you could actually do business and you could actually build on top, right? So it has to be there. That's the other thing too. So yeah, that's how I would answer that.
Pass that keeps it active.
Pardon me?
I said it's kind of like a pass or an access pass that keeps it active, I guess you would say.
It's a license, yeah. It's your license. Literally what we say, business license NFT. It's your business license to go and conduct business there. And just you couldn't do this on your own. If you look at the floor price, I mean, people could say, I could afford that. Well, it's not just 1.8 or 1.9 floor price, and you're getting a 1x1, right? Right? In the middle of nowhere, where then you're going to have to go and develop and build on top of it and then advertise. Yeah. And then are you going to put in that work? The average guy can't do that, all these things, right? The average guy in crypto is used to just grabbing a coin and like, okay, hey, wife, I got into a coin. Let's hope it goes up. And that's it. They just sit back, right? You can't do that here. So, and if we look at something, if you could create a true cash flowing business in crypto, we've seen companies go from 0 to $1 billion, like Trust Wallet that got bought out by Binance. CoinMarketCap got bought out by Binance over the course of the years, right? So this is the value that people need to look at, right? You want appreciation with income where you could potentially sell it in the future if you choose to be, because that's a real asset. And this is what this is. So.
Okay, cool. All right. And then when will your project be live?
Yeah, great question. So my project will be live. That's when Sandbox goes live, which should happen Q4, Q1. However, that gives us a lot of time, right? People want it to go live now. No, because we want time to get deal flows. We want time to sign contracts. We want that to happen when Sandbox goes live. We have that open sign for business, and we're going to market vigorously leading up to that as well. We want to be known as, these, Metapolitans and the services that we provide there. So that's going to give us the time to do just that, right? It would have been a tragedy, in my opinion, if Sandbox was going live next week or today, and we're like, oh shit, bro, we got to build and do this. That's rushing it. And we don't want to rush this like that. This is truly going to present itself in a way that you have never ever seen before. There's nothing out there like this. And if there is, again, this is what I tell people. It's people that's using your money to buy the land because they can't do it on their own, And yeah, that's not the case here. I'm the opposite of that, with or without who wants to come aboard. I'm going to do this regardless, and people can watch me make $1 billion in 5 years, which is 0.01% of this estimated market. And I will get $1 billion. I know I will. You tell me I can extract under 1%, a fraction of 1% out of this market share in 5 years? Probably more, right? And I've proven I've done this in millions of dollars in crypto, in the crypto space. So You guys could just watch me get rich. I'll feel guilty though.
No, I'm gonna be joining you on this ride. So
Nice. Good to know. Come on.
you're not getting rich without me. Nope.
I like to share the wealth.
So
I really do.
let's talk about the process. What do people need to do in order, if they are interested, such as the person interviewing you right now?
Yeah.
What would that individual need to do in order to, do we get whitelisted or what happens? I don't get it.
Yeah, so right now, again, right, like Duck DAO, man, I love you guys, Ken and Lucas, you guys know that. They treated me with the utmost respect during all this time, and I also respect them because they were the first movers in this pre-sale incubator, and all the copycats came about. So, we're just reaching out to our partners like Duck DAO and other communities privately. Like, this is what I always tell people, quality over quantity, value over volume, facts over feelings, and numbers over narratives, right? So we're just reaching out to the people where I feel as though we just want to, if we could fulfill this just privately with our community, that's what I want, So to answer your question, right now we are accepting early access investors. We're not, well, it's like a whitelist, but you're investing, right, to solidify your spot. We will have a random mint generator happening as well. So if people were confused about the 0.3, why, how does that make sense? It's going to be randomly generated. So we're not hand choosing anybody either. So you could head on over to the Metapolitan chat. Maybe Thomas or one of the admins that are watching right now could drop that in the live chat. Make sure they have the blue runch next to their name. There are scammers out there. Yeah, you could join the chat, and in the form of a pinned message, we are taking contributions right now. And they're starting at, as we said, 0.3 across the board, right? So if you want to solidify your spot. And, from there, when we're done talking to our close partners, yeah, we'll start real marketing, which is going on to other, like, say, NFT programs, live streams, uploaded videos, publications, so on and so forth. But right now, and Discord advertising too, but right now, we want to keep this discreet and just among the people that we know.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm glad you really gave us this opportunity to learn more about it too, because I'm not the most experienced person when it comes to NFTs. So this was a great learning experience for me to, know that this opportunity exists. And because we're coming in early.
You know why? Because you know bullshit when you see it. A lot of NFTs, they're just crap. So you don't want to touch that crap. Right? I don't blame you. Same thing with me. But here we go. This is like again, it's an asset class, and you gotta each asset is different. And let me just touch upon that. Why 0.3? Also, other than making it fair, that people might say that's a poor ass excuse. Well, also because we want to protect the integrity of the asset class, because I truly revere this as an institutional asset class, which I just showed you guys on the map. It's not my opinion. It's there, for you to see. Look at institutions that's all over the place. It's like a land grab, so you cannot put the entry price at 0.01 or 0.15 or whatever the NFT art is, because this is not me having a dream, a wet dream, and saying, oh my God, that'll be a cool NFT. Let me go and, my imagination, what I just dreamt last night on NFT it. This is not that. That's the kiddie shit. Right? This is true institutional asset class, and we need to protect the integrity of it. So we didn't want it too high, but we didn't want it too low either. So we thought 0.3 was perfect across the board, And look, honestly, if you can't afford 0.3, you should not be investing into this. You should probably invest that into yourself, self-development, and get educated and more knowledge if you can't afford 0.3. And that's fine. That's not an insult. That's the truth. Do not invest if you can't afford 0.3, because it's not for you.
Right. Yeah. Okay, cool. Well, I just want to make sure that there aren't any other questions from the live chat.
Yeah, sure. Let me see what I see as well. Okay.
I see one. It says Flying Knee. There's 254 players live on Sandbox this minute. How are the projections calculated for profits as far as available population to sell tickets to for concert example?
Yeah, so with that example, thank you for pointing that out. So during the alpha, it was over 2 million people playing on Sandbox, right? And to really see it, it depends on the world that you're in, So when you go to each world, it tells you how much people's in that area of that world. That number is expected to go way higher. Obviously, most people who aren't playing Sandbox right now, it's not live, right? So those are just like the geeks that just love the game and want to play, So that, so that number is going to be way more than that once, and they're doing vigorous marketing too. They're buying out other projects too. What was the second half of that question? Sorry. After. Yeah, sorry about that.
That's okay. As
the ticket season.
How are the projections calculated for profits as far as available population to sell tickets
Yeah.
to or from concerts?
Good question, right? So again, right, we're not selling it to the people in Sandbox. We're selling it, the entertainment, like the rappers. We're selling that to the people who already love them, already know them, that subscribe to their channel, who can't see them in person or are, you know, wants a better experience than to upload a video, right? We're selling it to their fans. So we're not selling it to Sandbox's population, if that makes sense.
I think that was a good question though, because
that was a very good question. Guys, look, I got nothing to hide. I could talk all day. Please ask anything that's on your mind. Anything, good or bad or in between. Yeah.
And I just want to make sure that we got, you did mention it, but if you can mention it again,
Sure.
What would be like, not the profit sharing, but what would be the incentive if somebody brought in musical talent to you?
That's
like
correct.
What kind of reward structure would be shared with them?
Yeah. So right now we're thinking of having a minimum treasury of $100,000, right? And again, this is not set in stone, but it is set in stone that we're going to do this. It's just a matter of the numbers that's not set in stone. Now let's just say 1% of 100K, or 1% of the treasury rather, will always go back to that individual who brought the business to the community. So 1% of 100K, do the math, 1% of that, when that's taken out, 1%, 1%, 1%, 1%, it'll always be a percent of what's in the treasury, right? So I guess just like these stakings, you can look at it like, say, a staking protocol, you get the most rewards at the beginning, right? So, you know, the people who actually put the work in at the very earliest will be getting most of the rewards from that one particular mechanism in place to incentivize individuals.
Okay, cool. All right. Do you see any other questions?
Yeah, I could take a look. Also, I could say this. So what we want to do is Sandbox, right? We'll be paying you guys in Sandbox on Matic side, on Polygon. So gas is not an issue, right? So people might be thinking Ethereum or something. Guys, yeah, so let me take a look here. Any other questions? Come, you know, spit it, man. Spit some fire, and I'll spit some facts. We got TCL Metaverse. Neo Meister says TCL's Metaverse gun going to clack clack. Right on. Dan Barry, any other questions, guys? Let us know. I'm just going through the chat here. So we got hello TCL. What's up, beauty? Thank you for joining. Buying, selling, or thriving NFT marketplace might help. Let me just show your audience one last thing, which will be,
Sure.
Yeah, which will be. Let me see if I can like this. Cool. Then I. Okay, so this is the actual marketplace, and I get it, man. Like, when I first saw it, I didn't give a shit, but when I realized the money to be made, it made me give a shit. So we're looking at the wearables right here, okay? And these are the things. This is Snoop Dogg's wearables. They're selling, what, 52.5 sand per one, which is $151 for a freaking Snoop Dogg vest that people would buy. Obviously, he ain't really marketing. Snoop Dogg, he sold 309 of them, but he's just getting paid and doing his thing, going about his life. As we go down here, Atari as well, right? These are the landowners, right? Like, they have all of their sort of assets that they're selling in this game, and this is another revenue stream. But what I have in mind, and guys, this is Binance. This is the real people, the real institutions, right? If you look on the left, go do your homework. They're selling these sort of avatars.
Are these like skins?
Exactly. Wearables are skins. These are skins, yeah. But, well, this right here is an avatar, but they are skins in here, or wearables. Like, I guess right here, this is a vest or a skin. Anybody who knows, what's it, Steam or whatever, like those gaming, you know, websites, this is what this is, but on the blockchain, right? And you got your own sort of marketplace. But what I had in mind was, what I wanted to do, instead of having it like that, I want to do it where we actually have a 3D storefront. So people walk in, instead of seeing it on the same marketplace as everyone else, you could have it in that storefront, or like in a fashion runway show, you could show the avatar walking up and down. People see it. Oh man, that's cool. I want to buy it. Because now you're next to everybody else here. So that's just another thing, because the metaverse is going to be all about experiences, things to do, places to go, people to meet, not only just buying, right? There's a lot of business too, but you want people to actually be inclined and want to go there. So we want to develop these sort of like shows as well, experiences, and not just be limited to only renting out virtual office spaces or headquarters to these brands who wants to be noticed and seen on this substantial platform shift. Because, you know, history has shown us any new substantial platform shift could displace any existing, you know, behemoth in that respective niche, right? If you're not going to adapt with the time, then you would be left behind. So that's why Facebook FOMO'd into Meta too, which was, by the way, the world's largest rebrand ever in history. All the shit we talk about Mark Zuckerberg, I'm not for that guy at all. I feel as though the metaverse now is giving us a chance to not be so dependent on Facebook, at least the world. I don't mess with Facebook, but at least for the world, But I have to respect his business mind in doing that bullish, bold move and rebranding to Meta. It was the world's largest rebrand ever. That speaks volumes. So
Yeah.
that's what we're talking about there in the fashion
Nice.
sort of niche. Any other questions,
Cool.
guys? What do we have here? My friend has spent $400 for skins for his daughters in Roblox. There you go. Thank you for saying that. You know, all of the parents out there.
I've spent over $1,000 on Fortnite skins. I am ashamed to say that.
No,
but
it's
I'm
not.
a working
But no,
mother.
that's nothing to be ashamed about. It shows the market. It shows the market.
Yeah.
And to know that how we could create our own and has that profit go to us is a beautiful thing. And not going to Fortnite or going to these other games. That's going to us, right?
Yeah.
So it's massive. It's massive, guys. You know, I'll leave you guys with one more thing. Maybe if we're going to end this or not, but bring the questions. I could talk all day. I know Pep has her day to go about your day, but you know, we could still prolong this if you guys want. But what I would say is this: I remember when the digital yacht Pep was sold about 4 or 5 months ago, and it was sold by Republic Realms, who's leading the way in the metaverse, like builders and workforce services. And when it was sold, everybody on Twitter was like, "Oh my God, why would you spend $650,000 for a fake yacht?" I'm like, bro,
Yeah.
the yacht is digital, and so is the currency is digital. What makes the currency real over the yacht? Right? Just like I asked myself, I didn't believe in crypto in terms of like, when I said didn't believe in 2017, I was like, man, is this real? Could I cash this digital currency into real money? And sure enough, I could have done that. Right? And then I realized it's virtual, but it's real. So what I'm saying is just because something like a wearable or a skin is virtual doesn't mean it doesn't have monetary value to someone, right? Someone who understands that they truly want to represent themselves in a manner in the metaverse like they would in the real world. So just because you can't touch it and feel it doesn't mean it's not real or valuable to someone else, right? Maybe not to you because you're new to it. Just like in cryptocurrency, you probably question that virtual currency of being real, and it is. That is contradicting yourself to say that how the yacht is not real, but the currency is, when they're both digital, is my point.
Yeah. I think that's a great point. When I first got introduced to everything, it was Magic Internet Money. That was the name of it, Magic Internet Money.
That's what it was, exactly. So you know, you know what I'm saying.
But you know what? So is the dollar, because it's magic printable money.
Well, that's it.
You know, it's like
that's
so
exactly it.
It depends on the supply versus, you know, what's actually available. And I think, you know, with the sandbox, I think we really should drive it home that it's limited supply, the same as Bitcoin. And that was one of the reasons for the appeal. So when you have something, an asset class that people are drawn to and are willing to pay for it, you do have to do a double take and make sure you're not missing something. So, and that's honestly how you got me. Was originally I was in the same boat where I was like, well, all they have to do is just, you know, it's not land. They just have to, you know, digitally, magically make it appear. But no, that's not the case. And so
exactly,
I think having the limited supply drive home was the kicker for me, where that's where you got me.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's, again, it's I believe it's 164,000 parcels that will never be created more. Again, you know, so I think people will slowly get it. They'll get it. But I don't want you guys like, hey, look, do your homework for sure. But, you know, hey, when you wait for something to be agreed on by everyone, that's when it becomes too late, right? That's why everybody was stuck with Bitcoin in 2017, even through the bear market, that knew it was going to be the future, it was going to be adopted. Look at them now. As I showed you guys, for those who are just joining, that internet geek there who's trying to tell everybody it's going to replace the yellow pages, he's still right now on an island getting fed grapes by some, you know, pretty women, I could imagine. Right? And I think the Metapolitans are going to be in similar, right?
Yeah. But you have to be careful on who you listen to, because there's a lot of people that are still screaming, you know, like Peter Schiff, who is just like, oh, it's fake. This is all a scam.
Yeah.
You really have to be careful and make your own judgment, you know, like use your, you know, this is a great opportunity to educate yourself and learn more about the space. I really want to learn more about the metaverse and NFTs and, you know, land ownership and business opportunities. And I think this is a great way to get started. So I want to thank you again for taking this time to, you know, educate us, let us know, include us, you know, give us this opportunity to learn more about it. So if we have more questions, we did share the link on the Twitter and on the announcements on your Telegram chat for Metapolitan. And I didn't mispronounce it, so I'm happy about that.
But when we go, I'll leave it at last here. So the word Metapolitan comes from the word metropolitan, which is an inhabitant of a metropolis. And a metropolis is exactly what you're looking at right here. It's a highly dense, thriving city that has buildings, people, businesses, infrastructure, roads, entertainment, all those things, right? So we are in the heart of Sandbox, and that's where that name came from, you know, Metapolitan, because you guys are the Metapolitans, the people in this highly dense, you know, populated area, which is the most sought after metaverse on the blockchain right now that people can afford. And I don't like to see corporations gobbling it up, because this space was made for us and not for them. So we can leave it at that. We can leave it at that. Thank you so much, Pep and the Ducks. I hope you guys learned a